Hi. So, I don't know why I look so weird. Like there's a filter, but I don't know. This is a weird video already, but okay, whatever. It is what it is. So, I'm going to try not to bang my hands. I'm going to try to speak louder. I'm going to try to not say literally because in my testimony video, I just cringed at how many times I said literally, and I promised myself that I won't say it ever again in a video because it really was too excessive. But okay, so anyway, I was just thinking about a spiritual concept in my other spirituality and the occult and the New Age that is antithetical to Christianity. And I'm realizing just how everything in the New Age is a complete opposite for what is the truth. It's all the way it's counterfeit. So in the New Age, people have probably heard there's a concept about spirit animals and whatever like animal you really resonate with, the attributes of that animal, the characteristics, like you feel like you resonate with that animal or vibe with that animal, and it becomes kind of like a leading force in your life in a way. I don't know if that's the way to put it, but like a significant symbolic force in your spirituality, like your spirit animal. So I didn't really have a spirit animal, but there were animals I was drawn to. And one of the animals that I was the most drawn to was the wolf. And in my other spirituality, that is a coded thing. It's like the lone wolf journey is a coded, it's about going on the journey to find yourself, which sounds great. Okay, that sounds great. That's so, again, empowering. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? So you go off on this journey by yourself to find yourself, to not rely on anyone else. And I really identified with that. Like I always saw myself as kind of a lone wolf in a way. I never needed to be part of a pack. I was always happy just to do my own thing. And if I believed in what I was doing, that's all I needed. I didn't need anyone else to believe it. I didn't care if anyone else believed it. I was just always happy to kind of do my own thing and to be the lone wolf. I liked that, and I did not need a pack. I just didn't. I didn't desire it. I didn't need it. So the lone wolf journey is something that in spirituality is really highlighted. And it just goes to show, instead of growing closer to Christ, instead of growing in your relationship with Christ, they actually encourage you to go off on your own and just to find your own way and to find yourself, whatever that may be. Like, again, that looks great. That seems great. But it is antithetical to what we're actually supposed to do. We're not supposed to kind of go off on our own and to find our own way, because we're humans, and if we are left to our own devices, we're going to go off because we're so sinful in nature and selfish in nature. Of course, we're going to go off and find our own way, what feels good to us, what we like, not bothering with what is the truth and what we actually are supposed to be doing, which is finding our truth in Christ, in God's. We are God's workmanship, rooted in Jesus Christ. That's the truth. And so I was just thinking about that lone wolf journey and how people identify with certain spirit animals, and mine was a wolf. I just really identified with a wolf. Like I didn't need anyone, and I just was happy to do my own thing. Like, again, if I believed in it, that's all I needed. I've never like needed outside validation, probably to my own detriment in a lot of ways. Because, of course, we all need people. We all need community and fellowship, of course. But I've always just been happy to do my own thing. I've always loved it because there's so many things I'm interested in, especially in spirituality. You can find, I just engrossed myself in learning all the parts of it, mastering. I was so big on self-mastery. That's what I cared about. I didn't care about almost anything else besides self-mastery. Taking every point of everything I learned in spirituality, learning it to the nth degree and then applying it to myself. And, just from there, then I had mastered, myself. It was all about mastering myself. I don't know. So that's antithetical to what it's like to be a Christian. It's not about self-mastery. It's not about self at all. It's about Jesus. It's about learning God's character. That's why we're supposed to read the Bible. It's not actually about us. It's about God revealing his character to us. But our selfish, sinful natures, like that appeals to us. That lone wolf journey, self-mastery, all of that is just very self-oriented. And in the other spirituality, that's encouraged. That's what it's all about. Like, find yourself, whatever it is, whatever floats your boat, and dig in, So I was just thinking of that and thinking about how a lot of people in the other spirituality, actually, the wolf is it's a very coded thing, because it's called the lone wolf journey. And I set out on that, and I loved it. I loved it. I really did. But, as you're doing that, you're getting just further into yourself, and, that's not good. But, so there's also, that kind of made me think of how things are coded, and how when you're deep into the darker spirituality, you kind of can pick up on certain things. There's certain terminology, certain people will say certain words, certain things. There's a terminology that goes along with the occult. And a lot of it's coded. So I don't know if anyone will know who this is, but there's a hip hop artist called Kid Cudi, and he's from Cleveland. And he's very spiritual. He's very into the dark spirituality. He's very into the lone wolf journey. He talks about that. He talks about moon worship. He talks about energy and past lives and vibrations and frequencies and all of, being a chosen one. So in the other spirituality, they're big on you're chosen. You're a chosen one. And that just means you have spiritual gifts, which just means you have demons. You just have demons doing your work for you. So but they tell you, you're gifted, which, yeah, you can get those gifts. You can do divination, you can do manifesting, but you're not doing it on your own. You're acquiring demons who do your bidding for you. And that's how it works. But so Kid Cudi he was my favorite hip hop artist. I know that I am a certain age, but hip hop is my favorite music. Taylor Swift, my favorite music. It is what it is. I was who I was. So Kid Cudi I loved because he was always throwing out those coded words. I knew he was a warlock. He's a warlock. He's in that dark spirituality. And so his music just spoke to me. It just spoke to me so powerfully. And I was just kind of thinking of that, how it's so opposite to Christ's kingdom. How in Satan's kingdom we're encouraged to go off on our own and to find our own way, which of course we're not going to find the way we're supposed to, what we're supposed to find. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. When you go off on your own, you don't find that. You just find whatever it is that, like I said, whatever it is that sucks you into New Age, and there you are. I mean, there's so many points of entry. There's so many different aspects to it. You can pick whatever it is that speaks to you and just dig in. And off you go on your little lone wolf journey. Off you go. So, I was just thinking about spirit animals and Kid Cudi and how that was all coded, and how I loved him because he was into the dark spirituality, and he's a warlock. He is. A warlock is just the male version of a witch. And a witch to me, I guess I should explain, a witch to me is not just someone who does spells. I think that's what the public might kind of think it is. But a witch to me is someone who manipulates energy, and I was manipulating energy with the help of my demons, of course. I wasn't just doing it myself. There's always a higher force helping you, and for me it was demons attaching to me, and I really solidified with them, and I worked with them, not thinking they were demons, of course. and they helped me. And the more I learned and the more rituals I did, it was like the more powerful they became through me. And I really did. I manifested a lot of stuff. I manifested a lot of money and a lot of just whatever I wanted. And which is why when I came out of it, they were very mad. They were mad. They were like, "We did this for you. Like, you're not going anywhere so fast," and attacked me. But so a witch to me is someone who just manipulates energy. I always think that witches are drawn to the moon. I was so drawn to the moon. I loved the moon, and I worked with the moon. The moon, okay, so in the other spirituality, I know the moon is just like the moon. It's a creation of God. Now I understand that. But in my other spirituality, you really draw power from the moon. Like, so even there's a full moon every month, of course, but each full moon every month is under a different zodiac sign. And so you find out which zodiac sign the full moon is under, and then the attributes of that zodiac sign, then you hone in how you're going to work with it. So whatever it is, like, you figure out those attributes and then you work with that. It becomes more amplified. And even like there's the new moon. So the new moon is where it's blacked out, it's voided out, you can't see it. Has a different energy, a different power you can work with. So I lived and died by the moon cycles. And it was so funny. The other day I was driving on my daughter's birthday. So it was February 23rd, and I was driving on my daughter's birthday, and I was like, there's a full moon. And I didn't even know. That is huge, because I lived and died by the moon. I would, like, even days before, I would start to get so excited and start planning out my rituals and learning about like what we're supposed to be doing and the energy and the frequency of that moon and that cycle. And like, again, it was a lot of work. It was just a lot of work. And then I always kind of felt anxious, like, I just want to make sure I'm utilizing every bit of like power that comes from it and through this night. And it was a lot. Oh my gosh, it was so much. So it just so struck me that I didn't even know there was a full moon the other night. And before, I would have known. And I would have known what moon it was, like what zodiac signs. I would have my moon water ready to go, and my affirmations and my crystals, because you charge your crystals in the full moon. I just would have been so all about it. But that was just funny that I didn't know. I was so like disconnected from it. Yeah. But so yeah, anyway, a witch to me manipulates energy. They work with the moon, or they feel a really special connection to the moon. Like, to me, that's very witchy. That's an integral part of being a witch. And they have some psychic gifts or some spiritual gifts. That's a witch to me. It's not just someone like sitting in like a black hat and like all black clothes and doing like spells and potions. I mean, I'm sure that exists. I know it exists, but that's not what a witch is. A witch is just anyone who manipulates energy. To me, that's a witch, and does divination and moon. Those are the three parts, I would say, that makes you a witch. So I was a witch. I was a witch. And that's so crazy to say, but I was a witch. And yeah. So I don't even know. So Kid Cudi, I can't listen to him now. I can't listen to a lot of the music I listen to, because it's very, I don't know if triggering is the right word, but it really just almost like sucks me back in. And I can feel Satan working through the music to pull me back to that life. It's very intoxicating. And now I've since learned how they pray over the music, and how all the music industry is set up to deceive us and to pull us in. And I feel it now. I feel it. Yeah. So I don't know. That was just some thoughts I had about like the lone wolf journey. Kid Cudi talks about that. I identified with that. I really did. How he's a warlock, and how like what a witch is. How I identified with being a witch. How the moon worked. Yeah. So I don't know. I just want to keep making some of these to kind of highlight if something comes up about my spirituality and how I'm seeing now how it's opposite to the truth. I just want to talk about it because the lone wolf journey is opposite to the truth. We're not supposed to go out on our own and find ourselves, because we will find anything but Christ. That's what we'll find. And that's good to them. Like, yeah, go ahead, find it. As long as it's not Jesus, find whatever you want. Go, child, and find it, whatever it is. Don't find Jesus. So yeah, so I don't know. So that's all I wanted to post. But yeah, as I have these thoughts, I'll just keep on talking about it. Maybe someone who's, you know, kind of lost in it or can identify with it will see the how it's counterfeit, how it's wrong, it's counterfeit, it's opposite to the truth. Everything in my old spirituality is opposite to the truth. So that's all. I am going to try to make these short. So that's all I'm going to post about today. But thank you. Bye.